out against Bisbal of Spain. Alan Rudkin, only recently dethroned as the British and Empire Bantamweight champion. And meeting here, Jose Bisbal, the Spanish Bantamweight champion and the former Spanish featherweight champion. Very unusual for a man to be featherweight champion at one stage and then come down a weight and pick up the national title one weight down. But that's what Bisbal there has done. Rudkin with his back to you now, the dark shorts. Interesting fight as far as Rudkin is concerned, because this is his first appearance since he was beaten so controversially by Walter McGowan in September and lost his British and Empire Bantamweight titles. Rudkin, certainly one of the best little fighters this country has produced for a good many years. Here, McGowan, a really fine, world-class pair. This man Rudkin has fought, of course, for the world bantamweight title. Well, now we're in the second round, and the first pass really without any incident at all. And Bisbal slips there. That wasn't a knockdown, and he's perfectly all right. Jose Bisbal, the Spanish bantamweight champion, making his second appearance in this country. Here comes the Rudkin chant. Tremendous crowd of Liverpool supporters he always takes around with him. This is a scheduled 10-rounder. Match made at 8 stone 9. Alan Rudkin, who'll be 25 next month, and Jose Bisbal, who is 24 and comes from Almeria in southern Spain, and is the son of a grocer there. Roland Dakin, the referee. Well, you very seldom see a fight with Rudkin in it that isn't a good fight, because he's an aggressive little Liverpudlian. He really makes the pace. Two-fisted fighter. And we should see plenty of action from Rudkin here against Bisbal. Bisbal was seen here in 1964 in Manchester, and he was beaten on points by Howard Winston. Winston won that fight pretty decisively. And in fact, I remember the fight, we had it on television, and Bisbal made very few forward moves in it. And you can see now that he's boxing in rather the same way against Rudkin, going back, trying to counterpunch. End of the second round. Rudkin. Roland Dakin, the referee. Round 4. And now Rudkin, I would think almost certainly, has moved out in front on the first 3 rounds. Boxing very coolly, picking up his points with careful aggression, not taking any chances, and occasionally threatening to land a really good punch on the Spaniard, who's proving to be fairly elusive, but has come dangerously close to taking a good punch now and again. Quite a slippery customer, Bisbal. There's a lot of slipping and sliding and ducking and weaving. Trying to prise that guard open of the Spaniard. Not easy. Well, I would think Rudkin is building up a pretty steady lead here. We're in the 5th round now, and certainly the first 4 rounds have mostly gone his way. We've had these spasmodic counter-attacks from Bisbal, but he's not really getting anywhere with them. And all the good scoring punching is coming from the young Briton, Alan Rudkin. Good, compact little fighter, Rudkin. Alan, of course, doesn't feel too happy about the way things went against Walter McGahn 7 weeks ago at Wembley. He lost his titles to McGahn on a very controversial points decision. It must have been desperately close. And Rudkin, and a lot of people besides Rudkin, thought that he probably did enough to win. And I know that he's only living for one day, and that's the day when he can get Walter McGahn back in the ring and try to get his titles back from him. Round 5, scheduled 10 rounds. Looks to me as though Rudkin is boxing well within himself. I think he's got plenty in reserve. The 6th round now, and the pattern's still the same, with Rudkin making the pace the whole time, always the aggressor, and Bisbal trying to counterpunch, but not really getting very far. Most of his work is rather like this, rather negative, and then this wild burst back, which doesn't really achieve much. Oh, what a good left hook from Rudkin. Best punch he's thrown so far. Well, I rather thought that Rudkin was holding a bit back, and it's certainly being proved now, because in this 6th round he really is beginning to open up now. Doing far more work in this round and doing it better, Rudkin, than he's done in the preceding 5. Bisbal getting the signal from his corner to come forward a bit more. That's the end of round 6. Alan Rudkin, 29 fights, has won 26 and lost 3. Bisbal's won all his fights this year. There's a good shot of Rudkin. Round 7. Well, there are 4 to go. And one begins to wonder now just what Bisbal can pull out of this fight, really, to turn it his way, because he seems to be well behind. And I doubt very much if he's got the sort of punch that could really worry Rudkin, but we shall see. This really is a carbon copy of the fight that Bisbal put up against Howard Winston in this country in 1964. Well, we're in the 8th round now. And there are signs on Bisbal's face that Rudkin's punching is beginning to tell a bit, because he's beginning to get quite marked. Spanish bantamweight champion Jose Bisbal and former featherweight champion, and under that right eye now, the first signs of a cut there for Bisbal, underneath the right eye. Won't hamper him, but it does show that the punching that Rudkin is putting in there is beginning to tell. Quite sharp. Rudkin now not looking quite so sharp in this 8th round. He's being made to miss quite a bit. There's the end of the inning. A little bit of attention be needed on that eye of Bisbal's. Nothing serious. Well, there are 2 rounds to go, and I would think Rudkin must be very, very clearly out in front. And I will see whether Bisbal can produce anything to change matters, or whether in fact Rudkin can produce the sort of punch that might finish this inside the distance. I think Bisbal is a little too elusive and slippery to be stopped. Round 9. It's only 7 weeks, of course, since Rudkin went 15 rounds with McGann, so he certainly should have plenty left. That signal from the Spaniards corner, come on, get in, take the initiative. The attacks from Bisbal are pretty sloppy, they're not really forced home. Very negative style. Bisbal has made this quite a difficult little fight for Rudkin. Rudkin's never really been able to hammer home many punches in succession. This man is always bobbing and weaving in front of him and always using the ring, and he's not a very easy man to pin down. Well, there's the bell to end the 9th. There's 1 to go. And Rudkin must be very clearly out in front. A long, long way out in front, I would suggest. Bisbal marked around the eyes, and Roland Dakin having looked to see if he's all right, and he is. Both eyes now are marked over the left and under the right. But neither of them serious. Last round coming up. Alan Rudkin of Great Britain against Jose Bisbal, the Spanish bantamweight champion. Now, I wonder if Rudkin can really produce a grand slam finish here. He's been made to look just a little bit inaccurate at times. I've no doubt at all that Alan would dearly love to land some really solid punches on this fleeting, elusive Spaniard. Well, I've never seen a Rudkin fight yet where he hasn't really gone all out in the last 3 minutes. I'm sure we shall see something similar here. There's not long to go now. And Rudkin certainly isn't going to stop this man. But he must be a long way ahead. Most of Bisbal's work has really been defensive, and he's very, very seldom taken the initiative. Well, his Liverpool supporters dearly want to see him stop this man, but he isn't going to do it. They're coming to the end. That's it. That's the finish. 10 rounds completed. And now the decision. And Rudkin knows he's got it. He walked over to Roland Dakin and offered his arm. He knew he had it, and he got it certainly pretty decisive. So that's a points win over 10 rounds for Alan Rudkin over Jose Bisbal, the Spanish bantamweight champion. Well, that's a good win for Rudkin, but as far as his future is concerned, I know there's only one thing that young Alan Rudkin wants, and that's a return for the titles